You followed all the rules. You learned to say no. You stopped over-explaining your decisions. You built your walls higher, not to shut the world out, but to protect the kingdom within. You finally started treating yourself with the respect you so freely gave to others. And what was your reward? Silence? Applause? Understanding? No. Your reward was a new name, a new label. Suddenly, you became the difficult one. You became selfish. You became cold, arrogant, or the one who has changed. In the stories told by those who once benefited from your lack of boundaries, you became the villain. And in the quiet moments, a voice whispers, "Did I make a mistake? Am I truly a bad person for choosing myself?" What if I told you that this accusation, this label of villain is not your failure, but your trophy? What if I told you that the resistance you are facing from the world isn't a sign that you are wrong, but the first, undeniable proof that you are finally doing something right? This is not just philosophy. This is a neurological fact. Welcome to the battle that begins after you learn to fight. This is the manual for winning it. Our first step is to understand the terrain. You are not fighting people. You are fighting patterns. You are not battling their opinions. You are battling their brain's primal wiring. This is pillar 1, the neurology of no, why the world resists your change. When you were the people pleaser, the eternal yes, you were predictable. You were a source of comfort and certainty for the people around you. They knew that if they pushed a button, a specific result would come out. Your yes was a dopamine hit for them. It validated their needs, calmed their anxieties, and maintained their sense of control. Your life was a well-established neural pathway in their brains, easy to access, reliable, and energy efficient. Then, you changed. You said no. That no is not just a word. To their brain, it is a sudden earthquake, a system crash, a 404 system suddenly not found error, where a familiar web page used to be. The predictable pattern is broken, and the brain panics. This panic is not a conscious choice. It is a primal, biological reaction. Let's look at the science of this. In the field of neuroscience, there's a concept called prediction error. Our brains are constantly making predictions about the world to save energy. When reality matches the prediction, everything is calm. But when reality violates the prediction, the brain sounds an alarm. A 2018 study published in the prestigious journal Nature Communications by researchers at the Max Planck Institute in Germany gave us a powerful insight into this. They found that a specific region, the lateral frontal pole of our brain, is dedicated to managing what happens when our social expectations are shattered, when someone doesn't act the way we predicted they would. This part of the brain lights up, signaling a major error. So, let's use some rapport here. Imagine you've walked the same path home for 10 years. You could do it with your eyes closed. One day, a huge brick wall stands where the path used to be. What is your first reaction? It's not calm acceptance. It's confusion. It's frustration. What is this wall doing here? Your brain doesn't praise the wall for its strength. It curses it for breaking the pattern. You, by saying no, have become that brick wall. The anger, the guilt-tripping, the accusations of "you've changed," these are not logical arguments. They are the emotional exhaust fumes of a brain experiencing a massive prediction error. They are trying to pressure you into becoming the old, predictable path again, not because they are all evil, but because their brains are wired to seek comfort and conserve energy. They are not attacking you. They are attacking the wall that has disrupted their comfort. Understanding this is your first shield. It depersonalizes the attack. Their reaction is not about your worth. It's about their wiring. Their accusations are not a reflection of your character. They are a reflection of their discomfort with the new, unpredictable you. So, let them call you difficult. A river that carves its own path through rock is difficult for those who want it to remain a stagnant pond. Let them call you selfish. A tree that reaches for the sun to grow is selfish to the weeds that want to keep it in the shade. This resistance is your compass. It confirms you are moving in the right direction. Every time someone resists your new boundary, you can silently say to yourself, the system error is working. The old programming is being deleted. The path is being redrawn. You are not just building a boundary, you are performing a neurological upgrade on your entire social system. And upgrades are always met with resistance before they are accepted as the new, superior standard. You have your first shield. You understand that the backlash against your boundaries is not personal, but neurological. It's a predictable brain glitch in those accustomed to your compliance. But when the initial, raw anger fails, your opponent will not surrender. They will simply change tactics. They will unsheath their most ancient and powerful weapon. It does not look like a weapon. It does not feel like a weapon. It often sounds like a compliment, whispered with a tone of deep disappointment. The weapon is the myth of your good heart. It sounds like this: I can't believe you're being so difficult. You've always been the one with the good heart. This isn't like you. You're one of the kindest people I know. Don't let this bitterness change you. I'm only asking because I know I can count on you. You're not like everyone else. This is the moment the true battle for your soul begins. This is Pillar 2, the myth of the good heart, the oldest weapon of manipulation. For your entire life, you were trained to believe that a good heart meant self-sacrifice. It meant being the reliable one, the easygoing one, the one who absorbs the tension, the one who gives and rarely asks. This definition was not created by you, but for you by those who benefited from it. With a cage disguised as a halo, when they praise your good heart now, they are not complimenting you. They are handing you the key to your old cage and ordering you to lock yourself back inside. It is a form of emotional blackmail dressed in the language of admiration. It is the most brilliant form of manipulation because it makes your self-betrayal feel like a noble act. It equates setting a boundary with a moral failure. The philosophy of a Shaolin master teaches us that true strength, true goodness, is not found in bending to every external wind. It is found in the unshakable center within. A truly good heart is not a heart that is open to everyone for the taking. It is a heart that is so disciplined, so full of self-respect, that it gives from a place of genuine abundance, not from a place of desperate need for approval. It is a fortified garden, not an open field for anyone to trample. To reclaim your power, you must redefine what a good heart truly is. And again, science provides us with a powerful tool for this. In the field of psychology, there is a term for the disease to please. It's called pathological altruism. The term was famously explored by a collection of scientists and scholars, including Barbara Oakley, a professor of engineering who became a leading voice on the topic. In the book she co-edited, Pathological Altruism, she defines it as a state where a person's attempts to help others end up causing unforeseen harm, either to the person they are trying to help, or more often, to themselves. Let's use rapport to make this clear. Imagine you see someone who can't swim struggling in a lake. A healthy altruist is a trained lifeguard who jumps in with a flotation device, knowing they can save the person without drowning themselves. A pathological altruist is someone who also can't swim, but jumps in anyway out of a desperate need to be a hero. What is the result? 2 people drown instead of 1. Your relentless people-pleasing, your inability to say no, your constant self-sacrifice under the banner of a good heart. It was never true kindness. It was a form of pathological altruism. What you doing? You were jumping into lakes to save people who were often perfectly capable of swimming, and you were drowning in the process. You weren't helping. You were enabling. You were teaching them that their problems were your responsibility. You were preventing them from developing their own strength by constantly offering yours. So, when they deploy the good heart weapon against you, you now have a new, stronger shield. You can see the tactic for what it is, an invitation back to pathology. You must forge a new definition of a good heart. A good heart draws a line. It says, I love you, but I will not allow you to disrespect me. A good heart has standards. It says, I am here to support you, not to be your emotional dumping ground. A good heart understands that no can be the most compassionate word, and no to them can be the yes your own well-being has been screaming for. And no can be the action that finally forces them to learn to swim for themselves. The next time someone tries to manipulate you by praising your old, self-sacrificing self, you will not feel guilt. You will feel clarity. You will see that they are not asking you to be good. They are asking you to be harmless. And your purpose is not to be harmless. It is to be a force of disciplined, self-respecting good, first for yourself, and then for others. You stand fortified. Your first shield deflects the neurological shockwaves of other people's brains. Your second shield sees through the silver-tongued manipulation of the good heart myth. You are prepared for the external attacks. But the most dangerous enemy does not announce its arrival. It rises from within, a silent ghost that haunts you in the dead of night, after the arguments are over and the phone calls have ended. That ghost has a name: guilt. It's a feeling that suffocates. A heavy, oily poison that seeps into your thoughts and whispers that you have made a terrible mistake. It tells you that you have become what you fought against, a person who causes pain. This guilt is the most effective jailer because it makes you believe you deserve to be in prison. To achieve true freedom, we must now turn inward and wage the most important fight. This is Pillar 3, the guide to surviving guilt, turning poison into medicine. First, you must understand what this guilt actually is. It is not a divine sign that you have done wrong. It is a biological withdrawal symptom. For years, perhaps decades, your brain was addicted to one of the most powerful drugs on the planet, the approval of others. Every time you said yes when you wanted to say no, every time you sacrificed your peace for their comfort, you got a small hit of validation, a chemical reward. Now you have cut off the supply. Your nervous system is in revolt. It screams for its drug. That intense feeling of guilt is the cry of your addiction demanding to be fed. It is not a moral compass, it is a chemical craving. Seeing it for what it is, a withdrawal, not a verdict, is the first step to detoxifying your soul. You do not cure an addiction by giving into it. You cure it by enduring the discomfort of the withdrawal until your body learns to live without the poison. You must learn to sit with this feeling of guilt and not let it command you. How do you do this? You reframe its purpose. Guilt is a compass needle spinning wildly. It used to point to approval as true north. Now that you have abandoned that false direction, the needle is spinning, trying to find a new, authentic true north. That spinning is chaotic and painful, but it is the sign that you are in the process of recalibrating your entire being toward truth. This is where ancient wisdom provides a light that science is only now beginning to understand. You often look for a complex solution to a deep pain like guilt, but the most profound answers are often the simplest. The Holy Bible offers a lens through which to see this struggle, not as a punishment, but as a process of liberation. In the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32, there is a promise: then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Let's use rapport to understand this on a deeper level. What is the truth here? The truth is that your worth is inherent and not dependent on your utility to others. The truth is that your peace is your own sacred duty. And what is the lie? The lie was that your purpose was to be endlessly available, that your value was measured by your self-sacrifice. The guilt you feel is the pain of the lie dying. Freedom is not a gentle floating away. It is often a violent breaking of chains, and the sound of chains breaking is loud and unsettling. That is the sound of your guilt. You must not mistake the sound of your liberation for the sound of your damnation. So how do we actively turn this poison into medicine? Here are 3 practical techniques. First, become the observer. When the wave of guilt washes over you, do not fight it. To break, do not drown in it. Instead, practice the mindfulness of a master. Sit with it. Close your eyes and simply label it. This is guilt. Watch it as you would watch a dark cloud in the sky. Do not attach stories to it. Do not judge it. Just observe. You will realize you are not the cloud, you are the sky. The cloud is temporary. The sky, your consciousness, is permanent. The guilt will pass if you do not give it power. Second, administer the antidote of truth. Guilt is a voice that tells lies. Counter it with a voice that speaks truth. When the guilt says you hurt them, your truth responds, I honored myself. When the guilt says you are being selfish, your truth responds, I am being self-responsible. Create a simple, powerful mantra to repeat in these moments. For example, this feeling is a symptom of my healing. My peace is my priority. Third, consult your future self. When you are in the deepest pain of guilt, close your eyes and visualize the person you are becoming a year from now, 5 years from now. Fee this person, they are calm, strong, surrounded by respectful relationships, and living an authentic life. They are free. Now ask this future self for advice. What would this wise, free version of you say about the temporary storm of guilt you are feeling right now? They would likely tell you, hold on. It's worth it. This pain is the price of the peace you are about to inherit. Do not give up. This is how you turn the poison into medicine. You stop treating guilt as a judge and start treating it as a patient, a part of you that is healing, loudly and messily, but healing nonetheless. You have stared into the face of your internal ghost. You have sat with the poison of guilt and are learning to transmute it into the medicine of truth. The inner noise is starting to quiet. But as the storm inside you calms, you may begin to notice a new sound. An external silence. Silence, the silence of text messages that are no longer sent. The silence of invitations that no longer arise. The silence of names that have disappeared from your contact list. Many who reach this stage mistake this silence for failure. They think, I have conquered my inner world only to lose the outer one. This is the final test of your resolve, and it requires you to understand that this emptiness is not a void, it is a space that you have cleared. It is not punishment, it is preparation. Welcome to the final stage of your transformation. Pillar 4. Loneliness as a rite of passage. Finding strength in the silence. A skyscraper cannot be built on top of a crowded village. The old structures must first be cleared. The ground must be excavated. There is a period where the construction site looks empty, desolate even. This is the stage you are in. You have cleared the ground of the flimsy structures of toxic relationships and codependent patterns. You are standing in the sacred emptiness where your true life will be built. The philosophy of a master is forged in solitude. The discipline, the focus, the unbreakable inner strength, it is never found in a crowd. It is cultivated in the quiet moments of dedicated practice, when the only person you have to answer to is yourself. This period of loneliness is your dojo. It is your training ground. It is where you move from needing the approval of others to generating your own. It's the transition from being lonely to mastering solitude. Loneliness is a lack. Solitude is a presence. It is the full presence of yourself. This is not just a modern self-help idea. It is a timeless pattern woven into the very fabric of human mythology. The legendary mythologist Joseph Campbell, in his monumental work The Hero with 1,000 Faces, studied the myths of every culture across all of history. He discovered a universal pattern he called the hero's journey, and in every single one of these stories from ancient Greece to the Far East, the hero must go through a period of isolation. Campbell called it entering the belly of the whale or descending into the cave. It's a stage where the hero must face their deepest fears alone, away from the world they knew. It is only by surviving this isolation that they can be reborn, returning to the world with a gift or a great wisdom to share. Let's use report to feel this truth. Think of any great story you love. The hero is always separated, lost, or alone at some point. They must find their own strength before they can win the final battle. This loneliness you feel, it is not a sign that you are lost. It is a sign that you are on the same path as every hero who has ever lived. You are in your cave. You are in the belly of the whale. You are not being punished. You are being initiated. The world has not abandoned you. It has given you the sacred space you need to finally meet yourself. And so, we arrive at the end of this manual, but it is the beginning of your new life. You learned that the world's resistance is a neurological reaction, not a verdict on your worth. You learn to see the good heart myth for the weapon it is. You learn to sit with the ghost of guilt and turn its poison into power. And now you see that this solitude is not an end, but a sacred rite of passage. Freak. So when they call you the villain for no longer playing a part in their script, you will not flinch. You will not argue. Your small quiet smile might even grace your lips. Because the villain in their old predictable story is the undisputed hero in your new authentic one. The final step is not to tell them, but to know it for yourself. To seal this transformation, take a moment, honor the war you have just waged. And in the quiet space of your own mind, or perhaps in the space below where stories of transformation are shared and witnessed, complete this one sentence. Not for anyone else. For you. In their story I may be the villain, but in my story, I am finally, you've earned it.